Yo, what's up YouTube? It's your boy Damontae bringing you a banger. Don't forget to go follow on my Twitch, please. Here you will never miss out on daily Payday content. The Infiltrator LMG build. Let's go over the perk deck abilities. Your first card being Overdog, which if you're having 3 or more comps surround you, you gain a 12% damage reduction, and you gain a 10 times melee damage increase on the second hit, and with another card later in the deck, it'll be a total of 7 seconds time period for this damage buff. Basic Close Combat gets you an 8% damage reduction inside of medium ranged. Advanced Close Combat gets you another 8% damage reduction inside of medium ranged, while Expert Close Combat gets you another 8% damage reduction inside of medium range, for the total percentage being a 24% damage reduction at medium range. And to finish it off, you have Life Drain, which regens 20% HP when hitting a comp with a melee and has a cooldown for 10 seconds. So as I've said previously in the past, a good LMG gunner is capable of controlling a group with staggering them, knocking them over with enough damage being dealt and the cops are rolling around on the ground, and then you come back and you're killing them, coming back to the cops that were grounded and finishing them off. And doing this will make the difference of your survival when using the LMG. Having the buzzsaw lets me clear out the common cops pretty fast since it has a massive fire rate. Since only having body expertise and crits as damage, the buzzsaw makes it no issue. Being, great at the damage that it has, being provided with the fire rate that it yields, with the mag capacity being kind of on the lower end, but it's okay because you have a massive ammo pool. I accommodate that with the 5.7 for the shields mostly. It is a good tool to have inside of death sentence play. It will come in handy inside of shooting through wall scenarios to hit yourself a bullseye, or shooting through a wall to smack a dozer's faceplate, since you ain't really gonna peek it and bust your armor. Never have to jeopardize your HP in this scenario. With Infiltrator bringing damage reduction, I went for armor values and HP values for the main setup. Since Infiltrator only has 230 HP and 221 armor value inside of the build, it has to make do with these base values, which isn't too bad at all, once again considering damage reduction values that you're given. Lastly, let's try to focus on heavy units when you're playing this build that are targeting you, while this is going to be the most beneficial way of surviving, instead of a 230 base HP build. Now, let's get into the skills for the build here. I go for Combat Medic with Quick Fix Ace for the 10% damage reduction, which we'll get into here in just a moment. I grab myself Uppers Ace for instantaneous HP regen, pairing that with a Joker and Hostage Taker, which we'll also get into in just a moment. Next, I'm grabbing things like Resilience and Die Hard, getting myself up to Iron Man so that I can have 2-shot armor in the build. Next, I'm grabbing things like Body Expertise, Surefire, Fire Control, and Steady Grip, while also grabbing things like Lock and Load so that my LMG is more comfortable to play with. Then I grab things like Duck and Cover so I'm more mobile inside of an ICTB, while grabbing things like the Professional and High Value Target, while grabbing also Unseen Strike inside the build. Next, for the guns here, I go for the Light Barrel on the Buzzsaw because of the fire rate, as I mentioned earlier, and this one's for accuracy and stability. Next, I go for the Bigger the Better Suppressor, which is more geared towards the accuracy and stability. You want to grab a bipod because why not? For a boost, I specifically went for stability here. As for the gadget, you have multiple choices, but I go for LED combo for stability increase. For the 5.7 here, I'm using the tin treated barrel for the accuracy and stability increase. Next, I'm grabbing the Flash Hider, which is giving me a 2 damage increase, which is more for the shield's insta-kill. Then inside the boost, I'm using an accuracy. As for the gadget, I'm using a micro laser, no real need for the stability in this scenario. The magazine I'm using is the extended mag. And then as for the sights, we're using the pistol red dot for the accuracy increase. For the tip section here, I will have to say this is pretty important for the play of the Infiltrator. With the Joker for 299 HP and first aid kits getting you 3-shot HP. From damage reduction percentage from the perk deck and the damage reduction from the first aid kits, which is giving you a 10%, and then if you're pairing this all with the HP buff. Or you could also get this from getting Overdog triggered, which is a perk deck ability inside your build. Either way, here's the math behind it all. If you have 299 HP, and if you have, let's say, all of your damage reduction being triggered inside of Overdog and the perk deck, 225 is changed to 144. So 229 minus 144 equals 155. So 155 minus another 144 will equal out to 11 HP, which is 3-shot HP. So next here, if we have 299 minus a 148.5, which is the first aid kits and the perk deck's, damage reduction percentage, this will leave you with 150.5. So if you take 150.5 minus a 148.5, you're left with 2 HP, making this a 3-shot HP and 2 forms. So if it's a 3-shot HP in 2 forms, what is really important is when you're using Life Drain for HP regen, pairing this with Hostage Taker for the 4.5 percentage. If you take 10 seconds of time as the example is, and let's just use the scenario of 225 being the damage, so let's say you take it and then you melee for instant HP of 20% HP regen. After that you have a 10-second waiting time period, and during that 10-second waiting time period, you'll have 2 Hostage Taker triggers, which will be a 4.5%, and then another 4.5%. And then at the end of that 10-second time period, you're able to melee again for another 20% HP regen, which will total you to a rough, total of a 49% HP regen inside of a 10-second time frame. But you also have to take in consideration that HP is based off of what you currently have, so each time, after each heal is going to be a bigger heal on that percentage. Now 49% is at your max. You're going to get 49% heal at your max. Now your more common amount of HP, which will be more consistent, will be about 29% HP, which will be a melee plus your 2 Hostage Taker triggers. The build does come natural with 2-shot armor from the damage reduction inside the perk deck. Now for the numbers in the build, everything here is based off of 225. So if you have 24% damage reduction, you're changing it to 171 damage for your perk deck's damage that you're taking. Your next value will be 36 damage reduction, which will be changing that number to 144, which is actually just getting Overdog trigger inside of your perk deck's other damage reduction triggers. And then lastly, you have the 46% damage reduction, which is having Overdog trigger with your first aid kit's damage reduction trigger and the rest of your build's damage reduction triggered, which is changing the damage to 121.5. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I do sincerely appreciate it. Hopefully you guys will leave a like, hit me with some comments, and subscribe if you're new here. If you guys are interested inside the weekly build videos, you come over here to my YouTube, you go into the second section here, we'll have a full playlist with all the build videos for the weekly builds.